Hi everyone, welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this beanie. For this project, I'm going to be using size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. And this is just the Big Twist Value brand and the color is Camel. I'm also going to be using a size F or 5 crochet hook. I went ahead and crocheted a brim that is 25 stitches deep using the size F crochet hook. So if you haven't already, please check out my precursor to this video, and that is how to make a brim. And again, if you do that, then go ahead and make a brim that is 25 stitches deep. And I crocheted this to roughly 18 inches, but what you crochet this to really depends on the size of the head of the person that you're making this for. So I would say anywhere between 16 and 18 inches is perfect. And once you've gotten your brim to your desired length, then go ahead and slip stitch these two edges together like I show you how to do in that video. And once you've secured your edges together, it should look something like this. So you'll see you sort of have an eyesore right here. So what we're going to do to cover that up is we are just going to fold our brim up, hiding that ridge, just like this. So we're creating a double brim. And so once you have your beanie folded up, I highly recommend sectioning this off into 4 different sections. It makes placing your next row much easier. So once you have your beanie sectioned off, I like to take my starting tail and tuck it into this fold. And that way I don't have to remember to tuck it in later. So once you have this lined up, go ahead and place a slip stitch on the opposite edge of your crochet hook. So this is not the edge that you were just working in, but on the other end of it. And that'll start to secure these two edges together. So from here, we're going to chain 3. So now we're going to start to work an extended crisscross stitch. So from here, we're going to be doing 3 things at the exact same time. The first thing we're going to be doing is securing these two edges together with our next stitches. The second thing we're going to be doing is making an extended crisscross stitch. And the third thing is we're going to be counting these stitches within these sections. So from here, I'm just going to place a double crochet in these loops on the edge of the brim here, and I'm going to make sure that I capture both edges in this stitch. So once you've inserted your crochet hook up underneath those loops, you're going to yarn over and pull through, and then finish out the rest of your double crochet like that. So now that you have these 2 double crochets, and this chain 3 is going to act as your first double crochet, what you're going to want to do is place a double crochet in the available loops behind your chain 3. So sort of working backwards. So I'm going to place mine in these 2 loops right here. It might be kind of hard to see because of the angle. So you're crocheting in the opposite direction that you just were. And there you have one extended crisscross stitch. So now what you're going to want to do is sort of eyeball where you want to place your next couple of double crochets. So for me, I want to place them in these 3 loops here. So I'm going to skip the first set of available loops that I was going to use and dive right into the second set, which are right here. Place a double crochet. And then I'm going to place one more double crochet working forwards in my next set of available loops. And then from here, I'm going to work back in the other direction, so working backwards, and I'm going to place a double crochet between this extended crisscross and this current one that I'm working in. And you have just placed a second extended crisscross. And so that's going to be your pattern going all the way around your row, placing these extended crisscross stitches. So your goal is to get 7 extended crisscross stitches in each of your sections here, so that when you get to the end of your row, you have a total of 28 extended crisscross stitches. And once you have your 28 extended crisscross stitches, it should look like this. So what we're going to do next is just place a slip stitch in the top of our chain 3 stitch. And it might be helpful to kind of pull this out a little bit so that you can make sure that you're getting in the top of the chain 3 and not one of your first double crochet stitches. So place your slip stitch in the top of that chain 3 stitch. And then from here, we're just going to chain 3 again. So now, rather than working in available loops, we're going to be working in regular stitches. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that you're working in that first double crochet, so that's right here. not your chain 3 and not your second double crochet over here, but this first double crochet, and you're going to place a double crochet. So now working backwards again, you're going to place a double crochet in this last double crochet stitch, and just make sure you're not working in your slip stitch. So I'm going to place a double crochet in that last double crochet stitch. So now to make another extended crisscross stitch, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you skip your next stitch. So this is not a stitch that you've already worked in, but one that has nothing in it. So skip that stitch and dive right into your next stitch and place a double crochet. And then you're going to place a double crochet in your next stitch. And now you're going to dive right back into that skipped stitch and place a double crochet. And that's how you place an extended crisscross stitch. So go ahead and continue following that pattern going all the way around your row. When you get done, you should have a total of 28 extended crisscross stitches. And when you get to the end of your row and you have your 28 extended crisscross stitches, and then you're just going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 just like before, and then repeat this row. And we're just going to keep repeating this row over and over and over again. So I went ahead and placed 8 rows of my extended crisscross stitch. And from here we're going to begin decreasing, so go ahead and place 5 regular extended crisscross stitches, just like you were doing before. And once you've placed your 5 extended crisscross stitches, then we're going to place a decreasing extended crisscross stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip 2 stitches rather than 1, and then we're going to double crochet together stitch 3 and stitch 4 and stitch 5 and stitch 6. So go ahead and skip these first 2 stitches and then yarn over. Insert your crochet hook up underneath the 3rd stitch, yarn over and pull through. Then insert your crochet hook up underneath the 4th stitch and yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and drop 3 loops, then yarn over and drop 2 loops. So now we're just going to repeat that process in stitch 5 and stitch 6. And from here, you're going to place a double crochet in your first skipped stitch right here. And that's how you place a decreasing extended crisscross stitch. So go ahead and repeat that pattern going all the way around your row, placing 5 regular extended crisscross stitches and then 1 decreasing. And when you get to the end of your row, you're just going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3 stitch and then chain 3 again. And from here, the pattern is going to be to place 4 regular extended crisscross stitches and then a decreasing. And then you're just going to repeat that going all the way around your row. And when you get done, you should have a total of 20 crisscross stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, just slip stitch into the top of your chain 3 and chain 3 again. And so from here, we're going to place 3 regular extended crisscross stitches and then a decreasing. And we're just going to want to repeat that going all the way around our row. And when we get done, we should have a total of 16 extended crisscross stitches. And the pattern for the next row is going to be to place 2 regular extended crisscross stitches and then a decreasing. And you're just going to want to repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get done, you should have a total of 12 extended crisscross stitches. And the pattern for the next row is going to be to place 1 regular extended crisscross stitch and then a decreasing. And you're just going to follow that pattern going all the way around your row, alternating between a regular and a decreasing. And when you get done, you should have a total of 8 crisscross stitches. And the pattern for the next row is just going to be to place decreasing extended crisscross stitches. So I'm going to show you how to place this first one. So go ahead and place your slip stitch into your chain 3 and then chain 3 again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to skip a stitch and then double crochet 2 stitches together. And then moving backwards, we're going to skip a stitch and then place a double crochet in the next stitch. And then from here, you're just going to place your decreasing extended crisscross stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, you should have 4 crisscross stitches. And then at the end of your row, all we're going to do is just slip stitch 2 stitches together. So insert your crochet hook up underneath the next stitch and the next stitch. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on our crochet hook. So go ahead and repeat that for all the stitches in the row. And from here, you're just going to place a slip stitch in the stitch opposite of your crochet hook along that hole there. And then we're just going to cut and tie off our yarn. And I will link to my DIY pom-pom maker in the description in case you're interested. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.